Hey guys, happy Monday. This is Coach Lois. I am coming back to you, tuning in live here. If you guys have been following me, I'm the founder of the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise movement, and this is the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast. I'm Coach Lois. I am your host, here to inspire you to live your best health, your best wealth, and also by doing so, trusting your best wisdom in the process, because health and wealth is so different for each and every one of us. And it can also even be different throughout our lives. And today I wanted to talk about what I'm calling, it's kind of a fun, I wanted to get your attention, the Fat Tuesday meditation checklist. Tomorrow is Fat Tuesday. If you are here in America or if you're all over the world, this is actually something that has been around for centuries. The origins of Fat Tuesday, if you don't know, if you're like, what the heck is she talking about, is actually part of the intertwining of a period of festivals and feasts that lead to a time of fasting and reflection, also known as Shrove Tuesday and Mardi Gras, which is big here in America. I just was in Phoenix and I saw this restaurant all called Fat Tuesdays. And this has many traditions and deep roots around the world. This is also a second part in a 5-part series where I'm talking about the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise fundamentals. I already talked about nutrition in part number 1. So you can go back to my podcast or my YouTube channel or my Facebook group and find what I was talking about in nutrition being part of my 5 fundamentals to helping you live your best health, your best wealth, trusting your best wisdom. So since this dates back to ancient Roman festivals, I mean, this is something that's really big. And oftentimes takes place in mid-February. And when Christians arrived in Rome, they incorporated the festival into their Lenten preparations, getting ready for Easter. So I know people who do 40-day fasts starting on Wednesday, which is Ash Wednesday. I know people who give up alcohol, who give up sugar, who have, I think, really good intentions. But the question is, how do you support yourself through that 40-day journey? Or are you doing it for the sake of doing it? Are you on autopilot? And I wanted to encourage you to consider meditating through this 40 days. It's part of my 40-day challenge, which just kicked off today with, you guessed it, meditation. So we meditated around addictive behaviors to rewire the subconscious mind. So you don't just do things for the sake of doing things. You actually want to heal your mind through meditation. Meditation has so many benefits, but yes, ultimately one of them is to rewire your unconscious or subconscious mind, because we all have something inside of our brain called the default mode network. And the default mode network is a part of the brain that actually, as it sounds, it's a default. So if you find yourself like driving, you might be daydreaming, right? That's the default mode network at work. You might actually be driving home. So you drive so many times to the same route. They call that the default mode network. You're on also autopilot. You're essentially, your brain is already conditioned to be in this default form. So you can go Google default mode network. I'm not focused on that today. I'm focused on how do you have what I like to call a conscious interrupt and a possibility to shift your mind, heal your mind. And as you're going through this, whether you're in my challenge or not, whether you're observing Lent or not, maybe you're struggling with something. Maybe you're, struggling with sugar. Maybe you're struggling with people pleasing. That's a big one. Maybe you find yourself getting frustrated or angry at your kids or yourself, as kind of like another way to say that is knee-jerk reaction to a trigger. Now, triggers are always in our external environment, but then they cause something inside of us to flare up. It could be anger, it could be jealousy, could even be joy. It could be any emotion. It could be shame. It could be, positivity. It could, if you ever have cried at movies or something, it touched your heart, and it was a trigger for you to cry. So I'd like to invite you guys to tune in with my checklist All right. My checklist is to support you, whether you're, going and celebrating Fat Tuesday tomorrow, which again, hence the name Fat Tuesday, right? It's a day of indulgence. It's oftentimes a day of partying, binging, and indulging. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, right or wrong, but it is actually a part of the traditions. And a lot of traditions, in fact, have a default mode network, right? You do the same thing over and over again. I talked about on my podcast on Friday. There's a lot of traditions or mythologies even that we study, we celebrate that are also a part of that default mode network. So I know for me, it was really important for me to get off of that hamster wheel, off of the autopilot, because a lot of times my OCD would kick in, my type A achieving personality would kick in, my doingness as opposed to my beingness. So that's another thing meditation really helped me, besides changing my relationship with alcohol, besides changing my relationship with myself. So therefore, as within, so without, I could become better mom, better wife, more present, more conscious and aware, more connected to my beingness, also known as higher self. Also, if you are observing Lent, this is a deeper time. A lot of people will connect with Jesus or, any of your teachers or guides. Meditation is perfect for all of that. And so why not become more aware? Why not become more conscious? Why not quiet the mind and go inside of the heart? Be embodying your truth, not somebody else's truth. A lot of times in society, we get so caught up in comparison of other people. And then that's also a default mode network, is where you try to keep up with other people. I struggled with that a lot. I also struggled with overwhelm, putting too much on my plate. Again, that was part of my default behaviors. Again, as within, so without. So if I wanted to see the world differently, I had to go within. And that's what meditation is all about. Now, I'm not a religious person. I don't observe Lent per se, but Jesus himself was meditating for 40 days, right? And he went within. The kingdom of heaven lies within. So again, whatever that means for you, for me, it's peace, prosperity, health, relationships, all of the things, and also creating more spaciousness, ease, and flow in my life so that I can be a higher and better version of myself, right? Don't we all want that? And meditation is one of those core 5 fundamentals that helped me create that for myself. So I'm a big fan of having a checklist to set up what I call sacred space for your meditation practice. And it can even be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I found I was so busy that meditation didn't seem exciting to me until I realized something had to give. I had to shift. I didn't like myself. I didn't like the world had created for myself. So what I decided to do, with the help of some mentors who said, "Hey, set up space." So here's my checklist. I'm going to go over through all of them for you. You can write them down and see if any of these, work for you. So I have number 1, my candle. I love getting candles from Etsy. They're fantastic. You can get a candle, even a tea light candle, super cheap from the dollar store. Then I have my incense. So I light this. Happens to be frankincense and myrrh combined. Very beautiful smell. Really, really gets me in the mood. Closing my eyes and going within. Another part of my checklist, and I'm almost done here, is just making sure I'm distraction free. I oftentimes like to go outside. I love to also have, dimmer lights. So the lighting, check off that as what is the lighting going to be. I also have my journal so that when I'm done meditating and tuning in, maybe I get a message, something comes through, I want to write it down. Maybe you sit in a special chair. Maybe you have a stone or a crystal. I also have essential oils oftentimes to kind of add and, you know, put some around me on my body, sometimes on my chakras. Stones and crystals, you know, you can, some people really get into that. Music, I have a playlist now. I didn't when I started. When I started, I just wanted silence. So maybe you just want silence, and that's okay too. So my last thing is for me, I also microdose with psilocybin. So I'll take that as part of my meditation time so that I can go inward and really quiet the mind. Oh, and I almost forgot one last thing, and this is kind of fun. You might see an image behind me if you're seeing this on the visual. There's a painting behind me, and that's a painting of Jesus. So if you are into icons, if you're into ascended masters, teachers, if you have a guide that you study with, you can absolutely have pictures, images. Sometimes you'll even have like little statues, all of those things. It's taken me 2 years, guys, to put that checklist together. So I hope that inspires you. This is again a part 2 of a 5-part series talking about my fundamentals of your living your best health, your best wealth, and essentially having your healthiest and wealthiest life, being your highest and best version of yourself, and trusting your own wisdom. That's really what the wisdom part stands for. So I'll throw up another picture on the screen here that talks about the 5 fundamentals that I'll be continuing on over the next few days. We're going to talk about breath work. We're going to talk about Kundalini yoga. Actually, I have a guest speaker that's going to be talking about that on this Wednesday, the 22nd. We talked about meditation today. We talked about nutrition last week. And then I'll also be talking about superconscious creation and what that has evolved into for me as a superconscious creator teacher. So if you get the chance and it's before April 1st, you can sign up to be a part of my 40-day challenge and help tune in, learn how to meditate, learn how to set up sacred space, learn about breath work, Kundalini yoga, learn about proper nutrition that fuels your mind, body, and soul. And then, of course, superconscious creation as well. You can go to 40-day-challenge.now.site and check it out there. And then if you found value in today, if you know someone who's struggling with meditation, if you know that someone's struggling with addictive behaviors, if you know that someone's going to be kicking off Lent on Wednesday and they really want to have a deeper, broader experience, I would love for you to share this with them. If you have any questions, you can comment below. But otherwise, I just want to wish you an amazing Monday, amazing Fat Tuesday if you celebrate. And here's to your best health, your best wealth, and your best wisdom. Bye bye for now.